Okay, we'll start and hopefully Emily and Sam will join us soon. I'll share my screen. Okay, so let's start with the status updates. I can start. I've been working this week on an issue for Buildpacks to not write the SHA files as part of the analyzer. I've made some progress. I hope to make a PR in the next few days. That's it for me. Anyone else wants to share?
Sorry, I got no real updates. I do know I went to the working group yesterday. There was word about a stack pack issues that doesn't have someone claimed it yet. I was just hoping to look at it and see if it's, something it's in my power to get involved, but nothing solid yet.
That's great. Do you know how to find this issue or?
No, I don't actually. It'd be nice if someone could let me know.
Sure, I can send it to you after the meeting. Great.
Or in the, or in the meeting so everyone else.
Oh, sure. I don't mind. Yeah, sure. I'll open it and I'll send it to you. Hi, Emily. Hi, Sam. We just started and we're sharing some updates. We can't hear you, by the way, Emily.
I think I was just being very quiet.
Okay, great. I thought just, anyone else wants to share their update?
Sorry, I haven't really done much on the life cycle this week.
You have the asset packages PR.
Yeah, I think that's more like cleaning stuff up than anything else.
Cool. Anthony, I'm sending you the issue in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Anyone else? So let's move to release planning. I don't think that we have anything special to share. We're all working on stack packs. These are the issues for phase 1. Unless someone wants to discuss anything. So maybe we can move forward.
I guess I've just a quick question. Maybe this is already known. When is this post? Is there like maybe this is a bad question. Is there a time when we're supposed to have all these done by and would like to ship stuff?
We don't, I mean, we didn't decide on like a specific time. We used to ship lifecycle every 2 or 3 months. I think 3 months. But I have no idea about the next release.
Okay.
I didn't discuss it with either Nali or Josie.
And these things can be worked on in parallel?
Yes, yes.
That's okay. I was just looking for some guidance about what I needed to get my issue done by, which sounds like it's just don't be the last person.
Oh, you're good. Cool. Next on our agenda is NIP discussion. I saw in the last few weeks that we're not talking about phases 2 and 3. So we have only this bug that Nali updated last week. she said that she is not sure if there anything we could do here without changes upstream. I didn't talk to her about it, so I don't know what are her thoughts. Does anyone else know? It's about this trailing, like slash. Yeah, it's slash. I always need to think whether it's a backslash or a slash, but it's slash.
I think I recall this. This is something that the user provides, right? This is
Yeah,
something that
that's
the
right.
user sets. So it's actually a user fault that this trailing slash isn't there.
And we're just trying to make it like friendlier, like not to fail because of this trailing slash, and just to make
Okay.
it work fine. But according to what Natalie said, I think that she said she's not sure if it's possible.
I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I think to me, when she's saying she philosophically didn't like the idea of changing users' input before sending it. Maybe it's, I don't know, documentation or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a good point of view. Emily, do you have any thoughts about it?
My instinct is add the slash if it's missing, just because I've seen users get stuck on this before, that it's like really hard to configure secrets correctly. It's something that isn't as much of a problem in pack, because if you're like pack gets the data, gives to the lifecycle from the Docker config file. If you do a Docker login, all of this just kind of works out. Like I think Docker login will be more permissive, but then the data it puts in the config file will be the correct file. And then the problem is in systems like Tecton, where people are entering these things directly and you don't have the Docker login workflow to clean things up for you.
Okay, sorry, you're triggering my memory here, right? So I want to reflect the perspective, right? This is lifecycle code, which is supposed to be agnostic to all these registries, right? So if there's a condition statement that says, hey, if Docker index.docker and then put trailing slash here, it's just, would that be appropriate for the lifecycle? I think that was the way the argument was going. Right, because the Docker CLI is Docker specific, but is the lifecycle Docker specific?
The lifecycle is definitely not Docker specific. The one thing that is Docker specific about the way it works is if you don't provide a registry, we default to Docker, right? So we're already sort of taking a naked repository reference without a registry and inferring that it's Docker. And we're sort of using GDCR to do that. Like we didn't write that code, but it's like it's a standard in that everyone expects no registry to be Docker. So because that special case is already sort of built into the ecosystem, I don't mind handling it a little bit better if we find ourselves in the situation. But that's just like my hot take for thinking about it for the first time right now for the last 2 minutes.
Can we make like a better error message that will be very clear for the user instead of changing its input?
I guess to do that, you'd still be adding a special case to Docker, right? Because it's hard to know why it didn't authenticate other than there's no authentication for that registry.
That's right.
So if we're going to add the special case anyways, I'd rather just like make it work.
Yeah.
To be clear, I have absolutely no strong opinions here. I'm trying to recall everything that I think Natalie was saying.
I don't think that's too urgent. I mean, this bug is from at least life cycle 0 to 10, according to what Natalie mentioned here. So since Natalie investigated it, maybe we can wait for her just to make sure we follow like what she is already investigated. That makes sense. Cool. So we'll leave it for now, and I think we don't have any other issues to discuss this week, unless anyone thinks otherwise. Great. So the next thing is the RFC. So I know that we're going to discuss this, right, Sam? You're here with us.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you were very quiet today.
I also wanted to figure out if anyone from the implementation team wants to take over this, because I think at this point it is beyond like what I originally wanted to do, and we are talking about a larger restructure. So I think it would be better for someone who knows more details to take over this RFC.
Maybe I didn't understand correctly, but I thought that Jesse volunteered yesterday to do this, but I'm not sure. And
I
since he's not-
volunteered him and he
Oh,
said,
okay.
okay, I guess, which I think
Oh.
is good enough. I think that works.
Okay, but maybe we can make sure that with him before we're like assigning him to this RFC. But
After that discussion,
he added like a comment to this RFC. But maybe before we start talking about this RFC, is there any other RFC that we would like to discuss? Because I feel that this RFC will take some time to talk about.
I don't know, Emily, if you had any updates on that default command arguments RFC. Or
nothing new since yesterday. I haven't half finished on my workstation. I will get something up before the end of the week. It might not be finished. It might just be a draft, depending on how time management goes. But I'll get something that folks can look at. While we're looking at this, I guess my question here is going to be about the docs in order to ship the life cycle. Like, we haven't been going over this in working group because it's a sub-team RFC. Like, does this have enough votes to merge? Can we just
exactly, this is what I wanted to ask. I mean, I thought that maybe we can also wait for Jesse because he's a maintainer on this thing, but I think there are enough votes.
Well, I think we need a majority of implementation maintainers right now, and
Natalie can't vote for herself, I guess.
Yeah, so we have me and Natalie, but there's 3 outstanding:
Yeah.
Stephen, Ben, and Jesse. So if Jesse votes on it, then we got enough. That
Okay.
might be easier to accomplish than getting. Or we can just tell Stephen and Ben to take a look.
I can ping them.
Or kick Ben off the implementation team because he wanted to leave anyways, and then we have a majority.
I can't do this. I mean, maybe you can.
I've been kicking Ben off a lot of stuff lately, so it'll be good.
Okay, so I'll ping the 3 of them about this RFC, and we'll see how it goes. I have a feeling that Jesse will comment or approve it. Then we can move forward. Okay, great. So we have this RFC, and I saw something else on. Oh, thank you, Dan. I forgot. Maybe I should add like a question to the agenda. I'll do this. So we'll decide who is summarized before the beginning of the meeting. There is also this. What do we want to discuss first? Who added this, by the way?
Oh, I added that.
Okay, so do you want to discuss this first or the RFC for this RFC?
I have to leave in 10 minutes if you need me for anything. Otherwise, I'm fine with eating.
Okay, so maybe we can take a look at Danny, are you okay with this? Great. Maybe we can take a look at what Jesse added.
We were talking about this in working group yesterday, and it all sounded so good. And I like it as a final design, but then I left and started thinking about API versions and stuff like that. And I think moving build packs is a big problem because it's sort of built into the packaging and the distribution spec, right? Like our APIs are not really independently changeable in the way that I wish they were. But right now, you know, all build packs are packaged under C and B build packs, right? And I worry, I haven't thought this through all the way, but I worry about the migration problems here. It'd be like you couldn't use an older build pack with the new system and have the build packs all be in the same directory. Like they'd be in different directories if you're creating your builder just by putting these layers together. And like, maybe that's okay, but I think we really need to think about it because right now we think about build pack API and platform API as the two things we need to maintain compatibility between. But if we move the path of build packs, then you sort of have to add distribution API in here in a way that makes the whole combinatorial situation much more complicated.
Can we do something similar to what we're doing under layers, like have a separate directory for build packs, for all build packs, like its regular path? Or will it be a problem with the other build packs that will need to look like, I don't know.
I guess the problem is that that CMD directory is typically going to be a volume, so you can't in the builder, like you're going to mount over it, so you can't in the builder then put things there because they'll get mounted over when you run. So build packs at CMD build packs don't work for that reason. But there's some options that I think we need to think through. I've not thought this through all the way other than it's a problem. Like you could do something where it's the responsibility of the platform that is creating a builder to, I guess it can't be the platform that's creating the builder. Have to, you know, the lifecycle could like set up some symlinks or something, depending on what it finds, make it all look the same. Like I have not thought through all the details here. I've only thought through the fact that it's a problem. We should probably think through the details.
Do you want to take some time and like add a comment to this RFC?
I don't have time to do that before the end of this week on like the thing that I would be putting up. I mean, I can add a comment that it's a problem, but I can't add a comment with a bunch of
I mean, it's
fully thought out proposals.
Yeah, this is what I thought. I mean, maybe we can,
Yeah.
you can add a comment that this is a problem. Maybe others can also think about.
Only question I had was I was going to work on that shared layers RFC. Where would you like me to couple that with this one, or keep it independent, or put that folder in some tentative place? I don't know what you would prefer.
I think it would be good to keep it independent because we're going to want to, if it's a Buildpack feature, we're going to need to work with the older platform APIs anyway, so I'll have to think about where it goes in the existing structure. We could leave the where it goes in the new structure as an exercise for this RFC, which is ballooning into a very necessary but complicated reorganization.
Cool. So do you have any preferences there, or should I just shove it under a new volume that's called /shared layers or something like that?
Makes sense to me. Like we got the top level layers directory, right? And under there we have Buildpacks. We also have, and we have config. I think we can make a shared layers, and then it sort of stays in the same place in the hierarchy when you move other things around, but it makes more sense in the new hierarchy.
Okay. Cool.
Any other comments about this RFC? Cool. Emily, we're waiting for your comment. We have a problem.
Quick question. Paying the other maintainers, Jesse, Ben, and Steven, to take a look at the documentation needs before release. Does anyone want to?
Yeah, I'll do this.
Cool.
Yeah, I already wrote it myself. Thanks, Dan. We have 4 minutes. Dan, do you think we can talk about this previous image and export?
Let's try. Okay, so I guess, can I like share my screen? So I guess I have like a couple, maybe some questions about how this stuff is supposed to work and how it does work. So in the creator, we have this previous image flag that I would expect to allow me to pass in any image that I could then use during the analyze phase. But we have some checks making sure that this previous image is in the same registry as where we're pushing to, probably because we just don't have code that'll like do all the checks on whether layers exist in the place that we're pushing to. And I couldn't find anything in the spec that said that we're not allowed to push to a different registry. And for an issue that I'm working on right now in Pack, that basically lets people pull through a proxy registry, this is going to be a problem.
That makes sense. I don't think anything would break if we took this check out. I think we maybe shouldn't have put it in the first place. The reason we really encourage people to do things in the same registry is because it is 10,5 times faster, because otherwise you have to copy all the blobs from one registry to another. And when we didn't put checks like this in, people would do these things and then complain that CMB was really slow. But if we just encourage them to use the same registry, then it wasn't slow anymore. And it sort of like helped people use the system efficiently, but maybe it's a little too aggressive to completely disallow it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, cool. I could just take this out. I guess there is some. Yeah.
Like maybe
I
we just
guess-
want to print a warning and be like, this could be very slow.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Easy peasy. Sounds good.
Great.
4 minutes.
Yeah. And we still have some time. Anything else? Cool. It was a great meeting. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.